In 2001, John Williams was hired to compose and write the score for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. While working on this, he created a theme known around the world that is just as recognizable and famous as themes like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Hedwig's theme served as the song for Harry Potter. It was later changed by Patrick Doyle to feature a darker tone in the track The Story Continues, which in my opinion is possibly even better than the original in the context of the darker film that was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The score in the movie is such an important part but is so commonly overlooked. If I play a movie with no score, it would probably take you a little while to even notice there was no music. In fact, I didn't notice the absence of score in the duel between Dumbledore and Voldemort in the 5th movie until it was pointed out in a CinemaWins video. So my thesis for this video is that the score and music in movies are overlooked and deserve more attention than the last section of an IMDb review while using Harry Potter series as an example.
Now, while you're here, your house will be like your family. Your triumphs will earn you points. Any rule breaking, and you will lose points.
As a child, something you noticed from the very second you clicked on this video, and a fact that made almost 60% of the viewership instantly leave, I did not have the courtesy of growing up with the Harry Potter book series. In fact, I nearly neglected its existence until recently. A year ago when we moved to Florida, we thought it would be a good idea to go to Universal Studios Orlando for a trip. Before this, however, my parents had me and my sister watch at least the first movie so that we could sort of understand the park. The first 2 movies I wasn't a huge fan of, but after the 3rd movie... What is making that noise? Dude, it's not even July 4th yet. Stop with the fireworks. The first 2 movies I wasn't a huge fan of, but the 3rd movie, things started to pick up for me a bit. After 8 weeks of movie watching and 3.5 kidneys worth of merchandise later, my family is obsessed with this piece of children's literature. Especially my mom. It has become a part of my life and something I have an encounter with at least once a day. If rewatching the same 3 Harry Potter video essays for 5 hours straight is considered once a day. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about why the score is so important.
I presume you have a reason for returning, Potter. What is it you need?
Time. Professor, as much as you can get me.
Do what you have to do. I'll secure the...
Score in movies is sort of a paradox. Remember earlier when I said it would take you a while to notice the absence of a movie? Well, it's quite ironic considering how important it is to the film. The score influences more than how enjoyable the movie is. The score is perhaps one of the biggest factors in the mood and tone of the movie. Tone is the feeling conveyed by the combination of score, film, and other factors displayed in the movie, and mood is the feeling the audience gets while watching the film with that specific tone. For instance, if the tone of the film and score is mysterious, the mood would be suspenseful and uneasy. If the soundtrack to a happy-go-lucky Pixar movie was played over an R-rated murder mystery movie, the impact of the tone and mood is cut into half, making it kind of pointless. Additionally, if played an electronic dance song over The Lord of the Rings, the same effect would happen. This brings us into the next topic, genre. Genre is a factor in how immersed the audience feels. Music to the right genre combined with the film makes us feel like we're really in the world. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone features the track Harry's Wondrous World. This track gives us a very cheery and magical vibe, perfectly fitting the massive exposition dump that is the magical and all-wonderful Wizarding World. Additionally, in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the song Double Trouble is a dark and grim track with an old folky kind of sound to it, which perfectly fits the dark and stormy imagery along with the students traveling in old carriages. Now that we understand why the score is so important, let's take a look at some examples. And by some, I mean a lot. Like, a lot. Reunion of Friends takes place at the end of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, where Ron and Harry are reunited with Hermione. The song features a light and flighty sound similar to Waltz of the Flowers by Tchaikovsky. This song inspires relief and happiness. This is the opening to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It features a continuation of Hagrid's theme, which in my opinion is better than the original. This song sends chills down your back every time you hear it, and it's also a mark of the series taking a turn to the darker side of the Wizarding world, a move started by Alfonso Cuarón in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The Quidditch World Cup is played during the Quidditch World Cup. Wow, shocker. During the Irish and Mongolian team introductions. It starts out with an Irish motif, which is then quickly switched to percussion and drums when the Mongolian teams arrive. While watching, you get this sense of epicness, and it gets you really pumped up for the match. Oh, right. The focus on percussion really conveys a sense of grandness in the scene. This track by Nicholas Hooper takes place during Ron's first Quidditch match in the Half-Blood Prince. It also happens to take place in a blizzard and is against none other than Slytherin, because God forbid Gryffindor play literally anyone else in the movies. I mean, it's the only match against Hufflepuff in the Chamber of Secrets, and it was freaking cancelled by McGonagall. But I digress. The score gives off a sinister vibe while we watch the Slytherin team form up for another play, and then quickly switches to the grand and epic motif that plays when Ron makes a save. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best pieces in the whole series. This piece is played during the Room of Requirement with Ginny and Harry. We get a sense of isolation between the two of them, their first time truly alone, and it's just the two of them. To complement this, we get a soft but moderately paced guitar that plays the same straightforward but absolutely beautiful theme over and over again with a little hint of violin in the background. This piece is really nice, very calming, and I really like it. What a way to end a movie like this. Coming off such a sad and devastating ending and leaving on a cliffhanger, this piece does best to strike a deep depression into you, but at the same time, a small sense of reassurance after we see Ron and Hermione agree to come with Harry on his hunt for Horcruxes. What an amazing song to mark Nicholas Hooper's end on the Harry Potter series. The second song that we get in Deathly Hallows is played over Snape arriving at Malfoy Manor, where the Death Eaters have taken over. This song really makes it clear after the events of the last movie that the safety that Dumbledore gave is gone. The harness is off, and you really get a sense that Snape is the evil bad guy that he was supposed to be in Philosopher's Stone. This is by far my favorite piece in Harry Potter and some of Desplat's best work. This is played just as the start to the Battle of Hogwarts begins, and it is just the greatest thing ever. It sends chills down my spine every time I hear it. It instates this amazing epicness and grandeur along with the anxiety and uneasy undertone. It's almost completely the same motif about every time, it just gets better and better. You really get that sense of it's going to happen, and this time it's all or nothing. The final piece in the whole series, and what a way to wrap it up. It's such a sad song with a small hint of promise and happiness. It's the perfect way to say farewell to a series like this. There isn't that much to say about it other than that it's freaking beautiful and I love it. So after editing, I kind of realized that this video was less about how score in film is overlooked, but more about how good it is and how much it supplements the original piece. But hopefully my original goal came through at the end of this, and you now realize how big of an impact score really has on movies. So if you enjoyed the video, press like, subscribe even. I hope to do more Harry Potter video essays, or just video essays in general, so stick around.